I'm Robert, 30 years old, and I need to share my story. My wife Eliza, 28F, and I have been married for 3 years now. Our relationship started in a whirlwind of passion and rebellion. Both our families were against our union for various reasons, but we fought against all odds to be together. We thought we were living our own fairy tale, proving everyone wrong about our love. A year into our marriage, Eliza got pregnant, and we were overjoyed. We welcomed our beautiful baby girl, Sophie, into the world. Everything seemed perfect. I had a demanding job, so we decided to hire a babysitter to help out with Sophie when both of us were busy. We found Maria, 35F, who seemed great with kids. She often came with her husband, Tom, 37M, who would drop her off and pick her up. I didn't think much of it at first. They seemed like a nice couple, and Maria was excellent with Sophie. About 6 months ago, I started noticing something odd. Tom would linger around after dropping Maria off. At first, I brushed it off, thinking maybe he was just being protective of his wife. But then I noticed he wasn't always leaving immediately. He'd park his car down the street and wait. I found it strange but didn't want to jump to conclusions. Last month, I had to leave work early due to a cancelled meeting. I decided to surprise Eliza by coming home early and maybe suggesting we go out for dinner. When I entered our house, I heard strange noises coming from our bedroom. My heart started racing as I approached the door. What I saw next will haunt me forever. Eliza was in bed with Tom, our babysitter's husband. They were so engrossed that they didn't even notice me at first. Maria was sitting in a chair in the corner of the room, just watching them. I felt like I was in some twisted nightmare. I must have made a sound because suddenly all eyes were on me. Eliza's face went pale, and Tom scrambled to get dressed. Maria just sat there, looking oddly calm. I couldn't process what was happening. I stumbled out of the room and went to check on Sophie, who was thankfully napping peacefully in her room. When I came back, Eliza was in tears, begging me to let her explain. Tom and Maria had left. I couldn't even look at my wife. I asked her how long this had been going on. She confessed that it had been happening for months. But the real shock came when she told me that she had been paying Maria extra to allow this arrangement. My wife, the mother of my child, had been paying our babysitter to let her cheat on me with the babysitter's husband. The level of betrayal and deceit was beyond anything I could have imagined. I was completely broken. The woman I had fought so hard to be with, the one I thought was my soulmate, had betrayed me in the worst possible way. I wanted to leave right then and there, but Sophie's face flashed in my mind. She was innocent in all of this, and I couldn't bear the thought of her growing up in a broken home. Against my better judgment, I decided to give Eliza a second chance for Sophie's sake. I laid down some strict rules. Maria and Tom were out of our lives for good. Eliza had to be completely transparent with her phone and social media, and we would start couples counseling immediately. Eliza agreed to everything, crying and promising she would change. She swore it was a moment of weakness that spiraled out of control. I wanted to believe her, but every time I looked at her, all I could see was her with Tom. The next few months were hell. I was dying inside every day. The trust was completely shattered, and no matter how hard Eliza tried, I couldn't shake the feelings of hatred and disgust that had taken root in my heart. But I put on a brave face for Sophie, trying to create a semblance of normalcy in our home. I threw myself into work and spent every free moment with Sophie. Eliza and I barely talked beyond what was necessary for co-parenting. The counseling sessions were painful and felt pointless. How do you rebuild something that's been so thoroughly destroyed? 2 years passed in this miserable state. I thought I was doing the right thing by keeping our family together, but I was just prolonging my own suffering. And then, just when I thought things couldn't get worse, they did. My friend Jack called me last week. He had seen Eliza at the mall, and she wasn't alone. She was with Tom, holding hands and acting very much like a couple. Jack sent me a picture, and my world crumbled all over again. I confronted Eliza as soon as she got home. At first, she tried to deny it, saying Jack must have been mistaken. But when I showed her the picture, she broke down. She admitted that she had never stopped seeing Tom. All those shopping trips and girls' nights out had been lies. She had been living a double life this entire time. I was done. No more second chances, no more sacrificing my happiness for a failed marriage. I told Eliza to pack her bags and leave. She begged and pleaded, saying she would change for real this time, but I was beyond caring. I had given her 2 years of my life that I could never get back. I've contacted a divorce lawyer, and we're moving forward with the proceedings. I'm fighting for full custody of Sophie. Given Eliza's infidelity and deception, my lawyer thinks we have a strong case. I'm not giving Eliza a cent in alimony. She made her choice, and now she has to live with the consequences. I know the road ahead won't be easy, especially for Sophie, but I can't continue living this lie. I'd rather be a happy single father than a miserable married one. I'm sharing this story because I need support and advice. How do I move forward from here? How do I explain this to Sophie when she's older? And most importantly, how do I trust anyone again after this level of betrayal? Update 1: It's been 2 weeks since my last post, and I want to thank everyone for their support and advice. A lot has happened, and I'm still trying to process it all. First, the divorce proceedings are moving forward. My lawyer is confident about our case for full custody of Sophie. Eliza has moved out and is staying with her parents. They've been calling non-stop, trying to convince me to give her another chance, but I'm standing firm. Now, here's where things take an unexpected turn. Remember Maria, our ex-babysitter? Well, she reached out to me last week, asking to meet. I was hesitant at first, but she insisted it was important. We met at a coffee shop, and what she told me turned my world upside down once again. Maria confessed that she and Tom had been working together to scam couples for years. They would find couples where one partner was vulnerable or unhappy, and Tom would seduce them. Maria would then use this as blackmail material to extort money from the cheating partner. In our case, Eliza had fallen for their trap hook, line, and sinker. I was stunned. Maria showed me evidence, text messages, bank transfers, even some videos, which I refused to watch. She said she was coming clean because she couldn't live with the guilt anymore. Apparently, our case had affected her more than the others because of Sophie. While this doesn't excuse Eliza's actions, she still made the choice to cheat. It does add another layer to the whole sordid affair. Maria told me that Eliza had tried to end things several times, but they threatened to expose her if she didn't keep paying and allowing the affair to continue. I asked Maria why she was telling me all this now. She said that Tom had left her for another woman, one of their more recent targets, and she wanted revenge. She's willing to testify in our divorce proceedings, which my lawyer says could be a game changer. I'm still processing all of this information. On one hand, I feel a small degree of pity for Eliza, knowing she was manipulated and blackmailed. On the other hand, she still made the initial choice to cheat, and she lied to me for years. The betrayal is still there, even if the circumstances are more complex than I initially thought. I've informed my lawyer about this new development, and we're incorporating it into our strategy. We're also looking into pressing charges against Tom and Maria for their extortion scheme. Eliza doesn't know that I know about this yet. Part of me wants to confront her, to see if she'll finally tell the whole truth. But another part of me just wants to be done with all of this and move on with my life. Sophie is doing okay, all things considered. She's too young to understand what's happening, but she does ask for her mom sometimes. It breaks my heart, but I know in the long run, this is better than living in a house full of lies and resentment. I'm focusing on being the best dad I can be. I've taken some time off work to spend with Sophie, and it's been healing for both of us. My parents have been a tremendous help, coming over to assist with childcare and just providing emotional support. As for me, I'm still angry and hurt, but I'm also determined to come out of this stronger. I've started seeing a therapist to work through my trust issues and to make sure I'm in the best mental state to care for Sophie. I'm not sure what my next steps should be. Should I confront Eliza with this new information? Should I just let the lawyers handle everything? And how do I even begin to explain all of this to Sophie when she's older? Any advice would be appreciated. Thank you all again for your support during this difficult time. Update 2: It's been a month since my last update, and the situation has evolved in ways I never expected. I want to thank everyone again for their support and advice. It's been invaluable during this challenging time. After much consideration, I decided to confront Eliza with the information Maria had given me. I felt she deserved a chance to explain her side of the story, even if it wouldn't change the outcome of our divorce. I invited Eliza to a neutral location, a quiet park where we used to take Sophie. When I told her what I knew, her reaction was not what I expected. She broke down completely, admitting to everything and more. It turns out, the rabbit hole goes even deeper than I thought. Eliza revealed that she had known Tom and Maria before we even got married. In fact, they were the reason our families were against our marriage in the first place. Eliza confessed that she had been part of their scamming operation before meeting me. She claimed that when she met me, she fell in love for real and wanted to leave that life behind. But Tom and Maria had dirt on her past activities and threatened to expose her if she didn't continue working with them. Our entire relationship, from the whirlwind romance to the rebellion against our families, had been orchestrated as part of their long con. Eliza said she had genuinely fallen for me and wanted to build a real life together, but she couldn't escape her past. The affair with Tom, the payments to Maria, it was all part of their twisted game. Eliza claimed she had been trying to find a way out for years, but every time she tried to end it, they would threaten to reveal everything, not just to me, but to the police as well. I was speechless. The woman I thought I knew, the life I thought we had built together, it was all based on lies. Every happy memory, every milestone we shared, was tainted by this revelation. Eliza begged for forgiveness, saying she had wanted to tell me the truth so many times but was too scared of losing everything, me, Sophie, her freedom. She said she had finally gathered the courage to come clean and turn herself in, which is why she had been meeting with Tom that day my friend saw them. I didn't know how to process this information. On one hand, I felt a tiny bit of sympathy for Eliza, trapped in a situation of her own making. On the other hand, the level of deception was beyond anything I could have imagined or forgiven. I told Eliza that while I appreciated her finally telling the truth, it didn't change anything about our divorce or my desire for full custody of Sophie. She understood and didn't fight it. What she did next surprised me. Eliza said she was going to turn herself into the police and provide evidence against Tom and Maria's entire operation. She said she wanted to make amends, even if it meant serving time. I'm still trying to wrap my head around all of this. My lawyer is working overtime to navigate this complex situation. We're cooperating with the authorities to bring down Tom and Maria's operation, which apparently spans several states and has affected numerous families. As for Sophie, I'm more determined than ever to protect her from all of this. My parents have been incredible, offering to help me raise her while I sort out this mess. I'm grateful for their support, especially now that I know why they were so against my marriage to Eliza in the first place. I'm angry, hurt, and feel like a complete fool. But I'm also relieved in a way. At least now I know the whole truth, as ugly as it is. I can start to heal and move forward without any lingering doubts or what-ifs. My focus now is on Sophie and ensuring she has a stable, loving environment. I'm also working on myself, continuing therapy to process all of this and to make sure I don't carry this baggage into future relationships. I know the road ahead will be tough, especially when it comes to explaining all of this to Sophie when she's older. But I'm committed to being honest with her, in an age-appropriate way, and showing her that it's possible to overcome even the most difficult challenges. Thank you all for listening and for your continued support. If anyone has experience dealing with such complex family situations, I'd appreciate any advice on how to move forward, especially when it comes to co-parenting with someone who's facing legal troubles. Update 3: It's been 6 months since my last update, and I wanted to share how things have progressed. A lot has changed, and while it hasn't been easy, I finally feel like I'm on a path towards healing and a better future. First, the legal matters. Eliza followed through on her word and turned herself into the authorities. She provided extensive evidence against Tom and Maria's operation, which led to their arrest and the uncovering of a multi-state fraud ring. The case is still ongoing, but it looks like they'll be facing significant jail time. As for Eliza, due to her cooperation and the circumstances of her involvement, she was offered a plea deal. She'll serve some time, but not as much as Tom and Maria. She's also required to pay restitution to the victims of their scams. Our divorce was finalized 3 months ago. Given the circumstances, the judge granted me full custody of Sophie. Eliza has limited, supervised visitation rights for now, which will be reassessed after she serves her sentence. Sophie is doing well, all things considered. She's too young to understand the complexities of the situation, but she knows that mommy did something wrong and has to go away for a while. I've been working with a child psychologist to ensure we're handling this in the best way possible for her emotional well-being. My parents have been my rock through all of this. They've moved closer to help with Sophie, and their support has been invaluable. I've also reconnected with old friends who have been incredibly supportive. As for me, I'm still processing everything, but I'm in a much better place now. Therapy has been crucial in helping me work through my trust issues and anger. I'm learning to forgive, not for Eliza's sake, but for my own peace of mind and for Sophie's future. I've thrown myself into being the best father I can be. Sophie and I have our routines now, and seeing her smile and grow despite everything that's happened gives me strength every day. Work has been understanding throughout this ordeal. I've scaled back my hours to focus on Sophie, and they've been supportive of this decision. I've also started volunteering at a support group for people who've been victims of fraud and deception. Sharing my story and helping others has been unexpectedly therapeutic. As for future relationships, I'm not ready to dive back into dating yet. My focus is on Sophie and on continuing to heal. When the time is right, I know I'll be able to approach relationships with a healthier perspective. Looking back, I realize how naive I was, but I don't blame myself anymore. I've learned valuable lessons about trust, forgiveness, and resilience. I'm committed to teaching Sophie these lessons as she grows up, to help her navigate the complexities of life and relationships. To everyone who's followed my story and offered support and advice, thank you. Your words have been a source of comfort and strength during the darkest times. For those who might be going through similar situations, my advice is this: it's okay to feel hurt, angry, and betrayed. But don't let those feelings consume you. Focus on what truly matters. In my case, it's Sophie. And remember, it's possible to rebuild and find happiness again, even after the most earth.